Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today, this is going to be my review for Survivor 47, which is a decent season of Survivor, and I would say it's kind of on par with the season 46 and season 45. Mind you, I do think season 45 and season 46 are still better. However, this isn't that far off. Now, there is one major flaw I have with the season, and that is the fact that I ended up being spoiled on the season because of Rome. Yeah. And that's my main criticism. Wow. Rome literally spoiled the season. Literally, the entire boot order. I don't like how production even edited the season. They did, it made it so abundantly clear that Rachel was gonna win from basically the merge on, and yeah, and there's also incredibly clear that people like Sue and Teeny and Genevieve weren't even gonna win in this season at all. Now, I will say there were some pretty decent characters on this season. Let's just run through. I'm going to run through the entire cast here and give you my thoughts on them here. So let's start off with John Lovett. And I kind of wish he went a little further. He's obviously the biggest name on this cast. He's a celebrity podcaster. He went to the White House. I believe he's met the president. And this is, I think it might have been Obama. I'm not sure, but he's pretty big, and honestly, I kind of wish he went a little further. I mean, I didn't expect him to go that far. I didn't, but I also was kind of sad he was the first boot. So, yeah, that was kind of sad. And then TK, I really just did not like him. He was too cocky for me, about challenge and whatever. Mind you, I do think he got a little screwed over going on the early journey, and the same kind of goes with Asia too. They both went on that journey at the very start of the game to get that camp supplies, which really harms them, and it really prevents them from socializing in the early hours of the game, which is big hindrance. And I know Running Review did suggest maybe they should have given them an advantage or something. I would even do maybe just a 1 round idol. You know how they did in 44 where they did that one person tribe swap, one person from each tribes. I think that might have and they gave them a 1 round idol. I think that could have worked here with TK and Asia. So a 1 tribal idol. I think that could have worked a bit better. Now, mind you, however, I do think TK kind of sucks as a player. Or you would think he would go really, really far. Or kind of fall in the Kyle position, where he would do kind of decent in challenges, but as soon as he loses an immunity challenge, he's eliminated. However, he obviously was the second boot, so yeah. Next up, let's talk about Asia, though. And I liked Asia. I actually knew Asia before this. She's one of the people from RHAP. She was on RHAP in the past, and I really liked her. For her little run here. But yeah, it was kind of interesting, and I actually I was kind of cheering for her, so I was kind of sad when she was eliminated, when she was voted out third. So, yeah. Next up, let's talk about Kashan, and I really like Kashan. At one point, I thought Kashan was actually going to win the season, especially after Asia won. I thought Asia actually was going to go a bit further and make the merge, but obviously she didn't. And thing with Kashan, I thought Kashan was going to go further too. However, obviously he didn't, and so he made this move with Genevieve. tried to flip like Genevieve and people to vote out Rome. However, that obviously didn't work out, as obviously Rome had to steal a vote, and Rome had the idol in round one, in which Rome did play. And obviously, I think if Rome didn't play that idol, or if Rome didn't have the idol to begin with, I think like Asia, like I feel like Rome could have been voted out like in the Asia spot, but obviously she didn't. But she did it. But yeah, I think this is Kashano overall. He's just like a nice, chill player. Nice. He's trying to make a move. Obviously, didn't work out the greatest for him. But yeah, I also don't like how like survivors always insistent on people losing their vote. Like, why is this a thing? I don't like this at all. Next up, let's talk about Annika. And I liked her. Her exit was cool. Like, she was kind of explosive. Like, so I was like, what? She was truly shocked about what happened there. Or so. Yeah, I was happy. She was kind of more of a villainous role. Kind of reminds me of Venus from season 46. Next up, let's talk about Rome. Obviously, Rome spoiled the season. That really harmed for me. Rome was also really, really mean to Saul. Well, he was a villain. And honestly, he's my least favorite person on this entire season. He genuinely ruined the season. Pretty much this entire season for me. While there were fun moments throughout the course of the season, he really spoiled the season. Why? And obviously, maybe he won't be on 50 now. Hopefully, I don't need to see him ever again. Maybe I don't even need to see him on any CBS show ever again, or any show for that matter. So yeah. Next up, let's talk about Tiana. And I thought Tiana, she was actually my winner pick. Tiana was my winner pick, and she didn't even make or she didn't even make the jury, which is kind of sad. But I thought Tiana was going to do well, but obviously she didn't, and I feel like I got screwed over with it. But obviously she didn't have the greatest relationships with the Tuku people, so yeah. Next up, let's talk about Sierra, and Sierra was there. There was an interesting kind of scenario that took place on there. Or obviously that Sierra's boot episode was the auction episode. Oh, that was cool. Sam lost his vote. That was something. And because Sam lost his vote, and there was a tie between Sam and Sierra, Sierra actually got to vote on the revote. Oh, obviously she had to vote for Sam, but obviously it didn't really matter because Sierra just got voted out. Next up, let's talk about Saul. And obviously, I liked Saul. I really did. But I don't think he's actually going to come back because from what I hear, Jeff was kind of shocked that how good he did here. But yeah, I like Saul. I felt really bad for him and how Rum treated him. I feel like that's really mean. Yeah. Next up, let's talk about Gabe. He was fine. Gabe was fine. He was just kind of villainous. I really didn't like how he did the dance when he won the immunity, and I think it was the previous episode or something like that. I don't like that. I didn't really like that. So yeah. Next up, let's talk about Kyle. Kyle was on my draft team for the TMR 47 draft. And I was kind of sad when he went home. But obviously, I didn't really care for him that much. He was just fine. He won a lot of challenges. It was kind of boring. I do sympathize with him, though. He was his story was interesting enough there. So, yeah. Next up, let's talk about Caroline. I actually thought Caroline was maybe going to win this season for a time being. And I knew, I had heard stories that 40 Jeff didn't really Jeff liked 48 way more than 47, and I thought maybe Caroline would fall, and maybe Caroline the winner, and maybe they just didn't care for her, because I got the sense that they didn't really care for Caroline that much. Next up, let's talk about Andy, and Andy had a really bad episode 1, and his story arc kind of reminds me of Emily from 45. I really liked Andy. I had heard of Andy too as well. He's a really well known person in the RHAP community. So that was cool. I liked Andy. I think he would be good coming back on 50. I would be fine with him coming back on 50. Yeah, I think he is the best player of the season, which I agree with TMR's take on that. So yeah. Next up, let's talk about Genevieve. And Genevieve is good. I like Genevieve. Obviously, it was made very clear that she wasn't going to win, and I thought she was going to land in the first card spot, and she did. And even without the wrong spoilers, however, Genevieve was I liked her on this season. She was like I think I would be fine with if she came back for 50, because I really enjoyed her. She's from Winnipeg, not that far away from where I live. And so that's cool. And yeah, I liked her. She was good. She was good on this season. I don't know how. Like, it was made abundantly clear that she definitely wasn't winning this season. However, yeah, I did like her run here, and her rivalry with Rachel was cool. And as I was talking about Teeny, it was made abundantly clear that she wasn't going to win. Teeny wasn't going to win. However, she went out to Fire, and I feel like she was kind of screwed over because of the win. I don't know why they just didn't do the Fire Making Challenge in the voting booth, because they've done that in the past in like Edge of Extinction. I don't know why they don't do the challenge, the Fire Making Challenge in the voting booth. I don't know why they don't do that. I think they should do that again. Next up, let's talk about Sue, and yeah. I like her storyline a little bit. However, once again, it was made abundantly clear that she wasn't going to win the season. So, yeah, she was kind of, and she did decent here. Next up, let's talk about Sam. I think I would have actually voted for Sam in the final little tribal. I think he did pretty well at the tribal, definitely compared to Rachel. Rachel did not do that great in the final tribal, but I liked Sam quite a bit throughout the season. He was fine. And yeah. And next up, let's talk about Rachel. And Rachel, I liked on the season. It was, once again, made abundantly clear that she was going to win the season and won't spoil the season. But I liked her run out here. I don't know if she's going to come back, but I'd be fine with it. Like, her win to me isn't that impressive, though. Like, because she needed, like, so many rounds of immunity. Like, she won the last immunity challenge, in which she would probably go into Fire. If she didn't win immunity in the Genevieve round, she would have been voted out. If she didn't play an idol, if she didn't have the idol and played it during the Andy boot round, she would have been voted out, and there was a possibility she would have been voted out in the final 7. In 2. So, yeah, like, she needed constant advantages, and even, like, I do think her, like, that kind of, like, split tribal situation they did during the Tiana boot, that was kind of random. Like, I'm happy they gave Rachel that advantage. It was basically it was, like, safety without power. I'm happy they gave her that, because I feel like she would just be so screwed over, because it was, like, all the remaining Tukus and her. Like, that's so unlucky. However, like, yeah. But there we go. That's Survivor 47. I do think it's a decent enough Survivor season in my eyes. I am kind of excited for season 48. We'll see what happens there. There are no Canadians, which kind of makes me mad a bit. But, yeah. Survivor 47 was decent. And we'll see what happens next. But for now, that is the last Survivor review of this year. Obviously, I don't plan on doing any other Survivor videos, but I will be talking about Survivor 47 again and Survivor 46 in my Year in Reality TV review coming out maybe in a couple days or something. I don't really know, but for now, that's the video. Thank you for watching, everybody.